The reviews are in, and we're going to tell you what they are. Yes, we're back with more movies to tell you about because you haven't seen these before. Seriously, you might have. I don't know. He's Todd Vandenberg. I'm Rob Steele, and yes, I'm starting again this week because Todd hasn't figured out what he's going to talk about. Haha.
That's a lie.
Okay, fine.
It was true 10 seconds ago, though. So.
Well, I am going to talk about something that you like. I know you love this movie because you reviewed it, 3 shows ago?
Oh, no.
And there
was yes.
There was a sequel that I liked better than your original movie. Because you reviewed 2001, which is a brilliant movie if you can stay awake through it. And I think for me, the flaw in 2001 is it's 10 seconds short of being a silent film?
Close, yes.
I mean, no one talks through the whole thing, which is why I prefer the sequel, which I watched this week. And yeah, it came out in 1984. So what? It was supposed to have happened 8 years ago. You know what? It didn't. We'll get over it. 2010, I think, was a good movie. Because people talked and you could tell what the hell was going on in it.
I think it's a very good movie. Continue, sir.
It is. And actually, I was thrown off by the cast. Because there are some people in it that, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to be in this that I didn't remember. I remembered Roy Schneider. I keep wanting to put an N in his name. Roy Scheider.
Yes.
Fine, I remember that. John Lithgow. I remember that. I liked him. I remembered Yakov Smirnoff, even though that's not his real name. Fine. I was thrown off that Dana Elkar was in it, because I did not remember him playing a Russian. The guy from the original MacGyver.
Yeah.
Did not remember that. But the one that really threw me off, and her name came up in the credits, and I went, wait, what? Helen Mirren is in this movie?
Yep.
Holy cow, really? Helen, I mean this with all the love in the world. She looks a lot younger 30 years ago. Go figure.
Yeah, imagine that.
With a lovely blonde afro. Really? She plays a Russian. That's fine. If you don't know the plot of this movie, basically it picks up, 9 years after 2001. Because, math, and George Lucas wasn't involved. So, basically, they go find the ship from the first movie, find another monolith. The monolith, short forming it, is in the process of destroying Jupiter. I'll let you figure out what happens from there. But yeah, it's a joint U.S.-Soviet mission because the U.S. doesn't have the money to send it because they're trying to go to war with Russia. Really, another U.S. Cold War Russian... Well, we're headed for that again anyway. I digress. The monolith says we should have peace. So there's dialogue in this movie. You can stay awake through it. Is it as well written or as brilliantly conceptual as 2001? No, it probably isn't.
I agree. It is.
But it was easier for me to get through because I could actually follow it without having to go on Wikipedia and going, what the hell did that mean? Which you kind of have to do with 2001.
I agree. It's much more accessible than 2001. Yes. It's more... I'd say it's more entertaining than 2001, and I love 2001. But 2001 is
high concept,
extremely high concept, and 2010 is not. And that's not a knock.
It's an action movie. Well, not really action movie, but almost summer blockbuster, big budget.
Well, compared to 2001, yeah, it's an action movie because there's more action in it. It's not an action movie. It's not Armageddon by any means.
Compared to 2001, Call Me by Your Name is an action movie.
Ooh. Well played, sir.
Thank you.
I really enjoy 2010. I don't like it as much as 2001, but 2001 to me is like a gigantic achievement. It's awesome.
It is. And I'll agree with you that it's more of an achievement.
And I really, really enjoy it. And you can say it's an achievement and don't even like the movie. That's a valid opinion too, because it's such an odd film. 2010 is a movie. 2001 is a film. I mean,
there's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference. 2010 is really, really enjoyable. Great cast, like you said. Helen Mirren is fantastic Bob Balaban, and it answers a question that people wondered about in 2001. And if you want to find out what the question was, you'll have to watch 2001. If you find out what the answer was, you got to watch 2010. But they're very different films, very, very different.
Yeah,
which is cool because they work really well together. And Roy Scheider does play a character who was in the first film, a different actor in the first film, and I'm very happy with that because Roy Scheider is much better, I think, than the actor who was in the first film. So yeah, 2010 is a really fun movie. I really liked it. It's a great movie. I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it's definitely worth watching.
Yes, absolutely.
Good stuff. And unfortunately, we still have Jupiter, so it was a lie.
Yeah, damn them.
Exactly. Damn them all to hell.
I was looking forward to that. Oh, wait, that would be a spoiler.
And I watched a film that I have, gosh, I think this is probably the 5th time I've watched this movie. Although it's only the 2nd time I've watched the unrated version.
Uh-oh.
Yes, and it's not the one that you're thinking of, because I'm not talking about RoboCop, even though RoboCop, by the way, kids, it is on Amazon Prime, the unrated version, the uncut version, and RoboCop is one of my favorite movies ever. But I'm not talking about that because everybody knows about RoboCop. I'm talking about The Midnight Meat Train, which is not that well known, came out in 2008. The does star a gentleman you may have heard of. His name is Bradley Cooper. He's kind of well known because he has a big, big movie coming out this weekend that he is his first directorial effort. But Bradley Cooper stars in The Midnight Meat Train, which is based on a Clive Barker story, and Clive Barker also worked on the screenplay for this. So if you know anything about Clive Barker, you know it's going to be bloody and gory, and it's also going to be kind of thoughtful in a weird way. Basically, Bradley Cooper is a photographer who likes to take shots of the city. He lives in New York City. He likes to take shots of kind of the grimier, dirtier side of it.
I'm going to assume with a camera.
With a camera, exactly. He's old. It's old school. He actually uses a camera.
It could be an NRA promotional film.
Yeah, luckily it's not.
I'm just saying.
And he is challenged by a gallery owner to really get his finger on the pulse of the city, kind of a thing, to really capture what's really out there at night. So he kind of goes into like shadier areas, and he gets into a confrontation with some guys on a subway, and he manages to get away with it because there's video surveillance even back then, because this is way back when, 10 years ago. And so luckily for him, they don't kill him, but he happens to capture a picture of someone who is subsequently murdered. And he gets caught up in this mystery, and he notices there was a guy, a rather nattily attired gentleman who was in one of the frames, and he manages to track this guy down, and he gets involved in some really bad things tracking this guy down. And being a Clive Barker movie, it gets really bad and really gory and pretty horrifying. Bradley Cooper is excellent in this because he's freaking Bradley Cooper. Leslie Bibb, I haven't really seen her in much else, but she's excellent in this, playing his girlfriend, and she does have an important role. She's just not the girlfriend. She's got some stuff, good stuff in it. Vinnie Jones, actually, this is so long ago, Vinnie Jones gets billing above Bradley Cooper.
Uh-oh.
Vinnie Jones plays the guy he's trying to find. Vinnie Jones has, how many lines does he actually have? Maybe none? He's excellent because his presence, he's excellent in this movie. Fantastic. It's just not cameos. And really, really recommend this movie. It's very intense. It's very gory. This is not a movie to watch with the kiddies, unless your kiddies are like in their mid-20s maybe, because it's really violent, really gory, and really, really terrifying as it goes along. Awesome movie. Great movie for the month of October or anytime. And there are, like I said, there are 2 versions available. You can catch it on Amazon. It's not free. You do have to pay to rent it, but it's like $3 to rent, something like that. So highly recommend The Midnight Meat Train. And this is one of the early pieces that Bradley Cooper did where he really showed, is like, hey, this guy can act. He's interesting, because you don't see that too often in horror movies where there's a big character arc going on. And there is in this movie. It's very interesting, the path he takes. It's not a fun one. I'll just say that.
Well, that sounds like something... Well, okay, maybe not for me. One of my kids is very much interested, though. And that is actually going to do it for our review show. And if you listen to this past Sunday show, you'll know why we got cut off and made this one short. So go back and listen to Sunday's show. There was a guest. We're actually going to go talk to him now. Damn these temporal physics things. I blame Doctor Who. See? Take that, Ted. Worked it into the show. Brilliant. So we'll see you next week with more movies to review. Until then, go watch a movie.
That's pretty much it.